Okay, hi. This is for AAD 376 Animation 1, and I'm going to do part of the silhouette animation. I'm going to do my silhouette animation project, which actually you may be surprised it's going to have remarkably little character animation in it. I'm going to be really looking at the idea of the animation of an environment, the idea of kind of like a metaphorical, allegorical kind of story rather than something that's based around characters. Because actually, I'm an animator who really half the time is against doing character-based animation. Um, you may not understand that, but what happens is that to me, I think that um, I'm more of an experimental animator. So this is kind of what's going on here. In many of my animations, I don't have characters at all. So, but I do some character animation. There will be some character animation in this. So, what I'm going to do is that as you can see, that I've been working on. I was working on a piece. Having to do with let's see here, having to do with this Tree of Life project that I want to work on. Okay, and this is it. I'll bring this in. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do composition, retain layer sizes, merge layer styles into footage. This will give me a composition, and it'll also give me a whole bunch of layers that I can work with. So first thing, the one thing that's kind of weird though is that everything is in reverse order. So I'm not going to worry about that so much. I'm going to take the, since everything is in high definition video resolution, I'm just going to drag this into new composition. There that is. That's fine. Do I have something that says ground? I think I turned it into building. And that's okay. Oh, I think I know what I did. It had ellipses and all that. And then I'll put building 1. And actually, I'm going to put this at 50% because I want to see exactly what I'm doing. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't see the entire frame. Really, for me, the two biggest pieces for me are probably the these are the clouds. You know, actually, I think this is before I even yeah, this is before I name my layers. By the way, so remember, make sure and name all your layers. I'm going to take these off here to the side, leave them in just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And then let's see. These are clouds. That's fine. I'm really kind of interested in this tree that I was working on. So, okay, these are the circles. Those are great. There are 2, there are 3. These are clouds. Okay, this is my Tree of Life. And that will be there. I'll take my peacock here, put it down here. And here's my other peacock. So in this case, I'm only going to be rendering about 10 seconds because of the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to be doing about six. I'm going to be doing about 6 scenes, honestly. Um, and okay, I've just got these buildings set up, and okay. Actually, I think I want my tree to be bigger. I think I want it to be up about here. So I'm just going to go into here. I'll click on this. I should really rename my layers, but I'll just scale this up, move it. I'm not doing any keyframes at the moment. So at the moment, what I want to do is I just want to set up the scene. I have these peacocks with their tails waving. I'll bring in some clouds. So this will be about 10 seconds. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that you have absolutely, I haven't shown you at all. I'm going to do something called a 3D camera. And I'll do that at the end. But so what I'll do is I'm not going to worry about so much about having a hill or anything like that. So let me drag in a cloud. Drag in another cloud. Drag in another cloud. Drag in one more. These are pretty gorgeous. And I'll bring that in. Nope, that's another peacock. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set up about 15 seconds worth of animation, and I'm going to do a bunch of different things with it. So I'm going to scale my time, set up my rendering amount at 15 seconds. And honestly, what I'm going to wind up doing is that I'm going to just kind of make these clouds kind of like lazy, moving. Peacocks will be moving their tails, and the tree will be getting a little bit bigger, but there's going to be, I'm going to be doing something else with that because I'm going to make a camera, and I'm going to zoom in. So, and I'm also going to do a second shot with this, I think. Yep, I'll do about 7 seconds of that, and then I'm going to use this camera to make a second shot. So, let's go ahead and set up all the basics. And let's just say the clouds are pretty easy. you just kind of move those along. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how fast it goes. Yep. Okay, that's fine. And then I'll do this other cloud here. I'll stop that. And stop the animation, actually. Okay. Okay. So let's just go back here to this other cloud. And I think I know really kind of what sort of speed I'm looking at. And stop things. Okay, we should be fine. Okay. Right. So let's go back over here. And then really just set up these different clouds. I'm going to have this one position here, and then go to 15 seconds, and then it'll be over here, and I'll close this one, open this, set this, and actually I'll just maybe just have it here, and I'll take it over here to 15. Have it going kind of slow. See? Okay. That's cool. Let's set up the other three clouds. And let's do this. Okay. Set an anchor point. Set this here. Have the cloud going in here. And then let's take this last cloud and set its position there. It's positioned at 15 seconds. And I'm in 15 seconds on most of these things, and I'm just, a few of these things I'm not entirely convinced on. I think we're doing okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to have the peacock's tail feathers waving about once every 2 seconds. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go and put pins. Actually, I'm going to select this background. So I'm going to select this layer. I'll put a pin here, put a pin here, put a pin here. Put a pin here and then put a pin maybe here. What I probably should do is that since I'm doing this as a symmetrical thing, I should probably just copy and paste this thing. So I'm going to get rid of that layer. And by the way, I'm going to do a little trick because I'm going to be operating in 3D space. Okay, so I've got this peacock. I'm in the Puppet engine. I know that some of you already hate the Puppet engine. I don't, that's fine. But going down to Mesh, into Deform. And let me just zoom in here and use the pan. And I know this is going to be kind of, some of you probably feel like this with your kitten and the bleach meme, but that's all right. That's fine. So I'm in the Puppet Pin 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out here. I can see that I'm at about, I'm going to go to 2 seconds. I can see it right there. And I'm going to just do that. And actually, I'm just going to so let's see what this does. I have a little problem. I'm going to have to put one more pin in here. I'm going to have to put it in right there. See that nails the legs down. Okay, actually, let's pin 4. Oh, that's the center. That's the center of the body. It's not a big deal. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and select all these. Zoom in. And Oh, that's right. I have to open these up still. Okay. So I have to open these all up. But then once I get all this taken care of, it's not going to be too bad. Just means I just have all this real estate I have to deal with. Okay. All right. So it means I have to do, now I can select these. I'm gonna have to use my mouse wheel to go up here a little bit. And you know, I just kind of made my life hard because I forgot to hold down the Shift key. And there you go. Okay. So that's 2 seconds. I'm going to move my time slider out here to 4 seconds, and I'm going to select all that. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to do all this, and then I'll just take this out to 6, take it out again to 10, to 14. And actually, maybe our stuff will go out to yeah, that's not bad. Okay, cool, great, that works. So I'm just going to collapse everything. And okay, let's just go back to fit and just see where we're at. This cloud isn't. These couple of clouds aren't thrilling me too much, but we'll try to fix those. The right-hand side cloud, the left-hand side clouds are pretty good. Okay. Go out here to one of these clouds, and let me see why it isn't doing what I want it to do. Huh. Not exactly sure. Okay. Oh, I know what happens is that I have these. Yep. I had a strange keyframe in there. And then let me click on this one. And actually, let me just click over to the next keyframe, and then I'm just going to move this over here. And then let's go here. Let's see what's happening with this cloud. And why isn't it highlighting? I guess this is it. So I'm going to go here to transform on position. I'm at 15. And let me go back to here. And that'll do that. So what I'm going to do with this peacock, right? I'm going to take it and I'm going to copy it. And then actually I'm gonna do one thing that you're not familiar with. I'm gonna put all this all into 3D space. This is now 3D animation. So don't worry about it too much. All this means is that I can now rotate this on the y-axis. And that means if I rotate it on the y-axis, it just means that all I get to do is I just get to flip it. So, nope, that's going to be the x-axis. Wait a second. No, it should be y-axis. Yep, that's it. Okay, that's it, 180 degrees. And for the most part, I'm set up kind of this beautiful situation. I'm going to move the buildings in just a little bit, scale them up. And now the one thing that I'm going to do, one other thing I'm going to do is that also from 0 to 15 degrees, I'm going to scale the tree up. I'm going to scale it and I'm going to change its position. So I'm going to go out here to 15 seconds. It's all linked. Everything's linked. So, and then I'm just going to make it, actually I'm going to make it bigger, and that's fine. I don't really need to change the position any. Okay. Actually, for the one thing I am going to do is that I'm not going to I'm not going to do some things. I'm going to call this animation project 1. Okay, so to do what I want to do, because I'm going to show you how the old man works it, I'm going to put in a 3D camera. That's going to put a camera above everything. And then I'll put this up at the top. And then I'm going to use this thing called a null object. You don't have to do any of this. This is just how I do things. And then I'm going to link camera to the null object, and that means when I move this null object, I'll just show you what happens. Some really weird stuff happens. See position, and remember, when I turn on as 3, there's see position also is in the Z, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing here. Is that I'm going to be doing some zooming in. I'm going to be doing some zooming in. So the tree's going to be getting bigger. And I'm actually going to be zooming in a little bit as the tree gets bigger. And then the other thing is that I'm also going to do a pan shot with a really close zoom. So this is going to get weird. So also the other thing, I'm just going to show you that if I watch what happens when I rotate the Y, you can see where everything is. So I'm not expecting you to understand this at this point. I'm just going to tell you what there's a lot deeper stuff in After Effects than you can really even imagine at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple things. Okay. I'm going to take the position, and then at about, really, I'm only going to let this go for about 10 seconds. And then I'm also going to move it up a little bit on the Y to keep the tree in. And I'm going to move it a little bit on the X to keep the peacocks in. And that's 10 seconds worth. So that's my first shot. Now, I'm going to do something really crazy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little let's see here. I'm trying to think of where the fruit is going to be that's going to come off the tree. It'll probably be up here. And then I'm going to just take it out here to 15 seconds. And what I'll do is that I'm going to zoom in really tight onto this one fruit. Take over the X. Move the Y. Just move that in there. So let's see how this works. All right. One thing I may not want to do quite so much is that I think I'd like to set a keyframe on the Z, so it's a lot further out. See how this works. Actually, I want this Z a lot further out. So let's check this out. I might actually want this a lot faster. Actually, I still want to keep this Z fairly far out. Keep the X over here. Keep the peacocks kind of in the center. And then let's see what's happening. Let's see how this works. It's probably running a little bit slow for my taste. But actually, I can speed that up when I bring it into Premiere. So we're up to 6 seconds. Ten seconds, and at 10 seconds, you can see we're gonna zoom back out. And I think what I want to do is I want to take this, maybe take it into 12 seconds. So let's go back out. And open these transforms. And I think I have a really kind of a weird, I want to get rid of that keyframe. So let's just take a look at that. And this is only going to be 12 seconds now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this at this point, and this is going to be a I'm going to take my work area and end it at 12 seconds. Let's render this out, okay? So the next part I'm going to do tomorrow is that I'm going to kind of show the fruit on this tree of life starting to blossom, and then it'll kind of I'll make another scene where it'll fall from the tree and then fall in the hand of that character that I was doing. It's going to do that, and he's going to blow life into it, and it's going to start spinning. That's going to go up, and it's going to be the sun. So that's what it's going to be. So I have this all set up to render for 12 seconds. And so this will be the first part. So and you may say, why am I doing these extra things like the 3D camera and all that sort of things? Like, because guess what? I'm the professor. I know how to do this stuff. So if you want to do it, the challenge is there. So what I'm doing right now, I'm waiting for Media Encoder to start up. So remember, you go down to File, export, media encoder. It comes up here. And it'll come up here in the queue in just a second. It takes a couple minutes. By the way, I've been having trouble with my Macintosh crashing, and I'm not sure whether it's a operating system update thing or what, but let me know if you've been having these problems too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to make a new folder from under my desktop, actually. And I'm going to call it Animation Project 2. And come on, animation. That's all right. Okay. And then I'll give this a name. We're going to call it Scene 1. By the way, for reference, when this fruit starts to blossom and all that, there's also going to be something else that I'm just going to show you, is that you can do groupings called pre-compositions. Basically, all you do is you just select a series of animated layers, and you just, I think it's something like Shift Control C, and it turns it into its own composition that you can actually put back into the composition like a video clip, which is super awesome actually, because then that's the way you can do super complex stuff. This is actually the way you wind up actually doing movie work in After Effects versus just doing video clips in Premiere. So, so you can see it rendering. Zooming in on the fruit. Dean's laughing. And maybe it's because I said things are zooming in on the fruit. I don't know why. It's just one of those days. Okay, so it's another time, about 11 o'clock. I'm still doing tutorials for you guys. You know, come on. All right. So that's done. Let's go and just take a look at this thing, all right? Let's see here. Here we go. Okay. Let's look at this. Not bad. Hey, look at that. It's zooming in. It's going to be about 15 seconds. And you know what? It's doing that robotic thing that I really don't like. And, okay, that's 12 seconds. Guess what? I'm going to show you one more thing that probably won't like, because what happens is that if you just change the rate of speed of something, it will just start it immediately. It won't ease into another motion. So what you need to do is you need to do something called working with the graph editor. And here's this thing. There's this little thing here. It says, here's the tooltip. Take a look at that. It says include this property in the graph editor set. Okay. So we're moving the position of X, Y, Z on the camera, and we don't need to worry about all the other things, honestly. I mean, we could change the motion on the peacock's tail to move it in and out a little bit. But if you notice here, what's going on is that these things have these like really hard edges. You know what? That really doesn't work so well, you know. So when you click on one of these, you see these things come over here, and there's these things, and these are like ease in, ease out. But this really cool thing, easy ease. What happens is that you click on all of these and I'm going to zoom in on these really tight. But you notice, instead of being hard edges, they're all curves now, which actually that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to re-render this thing, and I'll show you what happens when you smooth your motions. And export, add it to the media render queue, and here it's going to start up again. So and so here it is, it's up here, and it's loading the project into the queue. I think I hit it twice, so it's probably going to come up twice. I'm going to have to delete it once. I'm going to call it Scene 1A. Yep, I'm going to have to get rid of this one. And just, yep, I'm going to remove that. There it goes. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to call it Scene 1A. So you can see the difference. And then I punch the button. So there used to be a guy who used to work in Dubai named Len. He was a great guy. But the thing is that there were just some times when it was just as easy as pressing a button. He says, "Just press the button. How hard can it be, man? Just press the button." So anyway, that's the case with this. Just press the button. So you can see that this is rendering. And you'll see that it's going to be much smoother. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do a pan shot, but we're going to start working on getting this fruit going. And I'm going to do one of these a day to get this put together. So let's go back over here to I'm going to do it on this Mac. Here we go. Here's Scene 1A. Look at this. Pretty gorgeous, people. But notice how it eases in and eases out. So that's it. So there you go. So that's how you do that. That's the first second of 10 seconds of my animation. That first 12 seconds. I'm going to do 60. And, but I'm not going to show you the whole, it's going to take me 3-4 days to do this, I'm not going to get it all done in one day, Even I have my own limitations. So I'm hoping that this will give you a better idea. Anyway. On how to do this, and I'll see you in the morning.